So it's the end of year, and honestly, I had thought about doing an end of year review type deal, but I decided against it. And I'm just going to show you my last project for the year. This is the final thing I was working on here. Um, Basically, over the last couple of months, I've been trying to get Ahriman finished for my Thousand Suns. So honestly, it's been a good year, very good year. I've had a lot of good videos come out, a lot of good comments, a lot more subscribers. I'm only at 220, whereas my goal, hopefully for this year, is to reach 1,000 if I can. But I've had a lot of hobbying going on, a lot of things that I've enjoyed, and met a lot of new people, and I'm liking it so far. Hopefully, I can keep this whole YouTube thing up. But I painted a lot of stuff for Warcry, for Kill Team, for 40K. I've completed almost 2,000 points of Thousand Suns, including Ahriman. And for this particular paint job, I decided to do something a little special. Now, all of my models are for the Thousand Suns have been given an oil wash, and that's what I'm doing here. Is I'm doing an oil wash for Ahriman. This is after I had already done all the base coats and all that. I actually have quite a bit of footage of me tinkering with his paint and doing the painting the gold. Well, I skipped the gold, but painting the robes and all that, because I mean, you guys have seen me paint gold. I've got a video of me painting the Zangor Shaman, painting the gold up. But with this model, I decided that I just kind of wanted to stop and do what I consider to be probably my best paint job. I actually even bought some new paints. I got some Scale 75 paint. I purchased it myself. It was part of their Kickstarter. So I decided I wanted to try that out, and I have to say it's really nice. It's very nice and smooth, as long as you get it in there properly. As long as you do a couple of thin coats or whatnot. I did make a couple of mistakes along the way. Apparently, it takes a little bit longer to dry than some other paints, or at least that was my experience, because I thought that the previous coat was dry, and I went to paint another coat across his robe, and I unfortunately ended up tearing it and messing it up a little bit. And instead of stripping it and trying to start over, I decided just to roll with it and see what happens. Now, I kind of wanted, for Ahriman, I wanted him to look not pristine and untouched by the ravages of the warp. I didn't mind the robe being a little bit messed up in a couple of places. I don't really like how the oil wash turned out on him, especially on the disc. So I had to go back afterward, and I decided to put some fluorescent paint on the disc as well. I put it in the recesses to kind of make his disc kind of shine like it's glowing, and it turned out pretty good, honestly. So a lot of what I did here is just basic stuff that I'd covered on the channel. I based his body in in the regular colors. I used purples and some pinks and blues. Just what I would consider to be Thousand Suns color. And I consider in this particular instance, usually purple is a color reserved for royalty and stuff like that historically. So I just decided to go with that. So that's what his scheme rolls around, is purples and blues and whatnot. So honestly, the rest of this video is just me just kind of touching things up with the oil paint, just using white spirits or mineral spirit. What I'm using is odorless mineral spirits to remove most of that oil from the raised areas. And my with my Thousand Sons army, I did an oil wash across the whole thing just to kind of darken it up a little bit. In hindsight, I like it, but I think maybe if I had spent a little more time on the gold, maybe I wouldn't have oil washed them. I don't know. It's kind of an odd toss up for me because I like everything to look grimdark, but in the case of the rubrics that I have and the Zangors, I think the oil wash may have been a little too heavy, and I don't know if that was my choice of oil paints or maybe I just didn't wipe enough off. Who knows? It's still not bad, and I think what I'll do this year, sometime in the beginning of the year, is I will showcase what I had painted up so far for my Thousand Sons. And I still have to do kind of a terrain showcase type deal. One of my viewers has said he'd be interested in seeing the terrain that I've painted so far, but there's so much of it. That is a monster of a video. Honestly, that's something I'm going to have to work on. I need a lot of time for, so that's probably going to be when I have like a long weekend or whatnot, because I still can't monetize yet, and I doubt that I would make enough to quit my day job. So unfortunately, I do have a day job I have to take care of here. But so here's here's the final thing that I did here. The final little piece to Ahriman. I decided to do something a little bit different. So this is how he looks afterward, and I think he turned out pretty good. But what I decided to do is I decided to freehand a sort of, I don't know if it's like a warp scar or something on his cloak, like a galaxy starscape there. And that is all freehand. That is all just me doing it. And I know this is me holding it up with my fingers. I'll one of these days I'll get a rotating display stand and make it a little more professional. But here are a couple of still images, and I'm going to leave you with the final image, kind of a vivid image of the galaxy starscape that I painted. Anyway, if you've liked what you've seen, please like and subscribe, and I will have more videos coming out this year. Thank you for watching, everybody, and I hope everyone has an excellent new year. I have pretty high hopes. So thanks for watching.